Another gentleman whose story we have. This painting here, I don't know how well you guys can see it. This hangs in the Hall of Fame in the Museum of Appalachia. The man whose photo is off to the left there is George Burkhart, and he moved to Kentucky around 1800 and took up residence in a hollow sycamore stump. And a newspaper article about him said that the tree that he lived in was 45 feet in circumference, 15 feet in diameter, and him and his wife and their 5 children had beds, tables, chests, and other such furniture as a mountain house usually needs, all inside this tree. And you can kind of see, and this painting was done by somebody who had seen his home, how it was a stump, looks like it was cut off, and they added some, roof, little stovepipe. I mean, it was great. It looks like something out of Lord of the Rings, like the hobbits living in there. And then in 1809, this is a special slide here. This is only about an hour from here, kind of the area of Pikeville, Kentucky, Tug Fork River area. David Cecil Mounce and his wife, Margaret Peggy Klein, settled in that area in 1809, and they lived in a large hollow tree while they were building their permanent cabin. And this is the only photo that I've been able to find of some early Appalachian settlers standing in front of the tree that they called home for a while. Jumping over to Indiana here, in 1821, James Harmon came to Indiana to collect his father's Revolutionary War land grant, and he lived in a hollow sycamore tree, and he kept pigs under the floor during cold weather to keep him warm. The site where his tree is now a farm. I believe it's a daylily farm over there in Indiana, and they talk about his history if you go visit that daylily farm. Jumping over to Ohio again, in 1872 in Pickaway County, Ohio, there was a newlywed couple who moved into a hollow sycamore on the banks of the Scioto River. The dimensions of the tree were 45 feet in circumference at 3 feet from the ground, with the hollow space inside being about 14 feet in diameter. And the doorway was about 3 feet wide at the base and 7 feet tall. The historian who wrote about this also tells of a blacksmith shop in southern Ohio that was made inside a hollow sycamore tree. He said it was a blacksmith shop for years and years, kind of in the Chillicothe area. So after reading all these accounts of settlers living in these big sycamore trees, I have one big question, and that is, do sycamores this big still exist? I kind of set out on a mission to answer this question, and what I found really surprised me, and I think it's going to surprise you guys as well. First thing I found was the Kokomo stump. This is in Kokomo, Indiana, in a park, and this stump is 57 feet around, 18 feet in diameter, and 12 feet high. It's huge. This is the Webster sycamore, and this was the largest living sycamore in West Virginia until it was chopped down in 2010. It was 112 feet high, 25 feet in circumference, and it held the title of largest sycamore in the United States for a while in 1955. In 2007, an arsonist set fire in the base of the tree. I swear it was not me. And the damage that was done to the tree was so extensive that the Forestry Service decided to take it down because it was a safety hazard for people visiting the park. I did some digging, and I was able to get in contact with some people who know the location of the current largest sycamore in the United States. I got a permit, and they took me out to film the tree. They've asked that I don't disclose the location, but I was able to get a video to share this with you guys.
Did you say what state it's in?
It's in Ohio, and I think there's actually another record holder that was announced this year that's in Kentucky. They kind of go back and forth, with the point system that they rate these trees on. But this tree was it's hard to describe the feeling I had walking up on this thing. I felt like I was looking at a dinosaur. It was so big. It is 28 feet in diameter and 132 feet high, so this is about half the size of the sycamore that George Washington found when he surveyed the Ohio River Valley. And because film or anything is just not going to do this tree justice, you can take your average size refrigerator and turn it sideways and fit it inside the base of this tree with room to spare. It's a big one. Now, I thought that my journey to answer this question was over after I saw the largest sycamore in the United States. Then I heard of another tree. This one's bigger than the record holder, but it's not in the record books because of a technicality. This tree is in Jeromesville, Ohio, and they did a DNA test on this tree and found that at some point in its past, there were several sycamore trees that grew together to form it. And so it's not counted as the largest tree, the largest sycamore in the United States. Now, this one, the location isn't secret. If you want to see it, just find the Jeromesville, Ohio Lions Club Facebook page. Once a year, usually the first Saturday in October, they'll take you out to see it. And let me tell you, it's worth the trip. If you're ever in the area, it's wonderful. Here's some footage.